Okay, so this is our drivetrain from last time. And we've got the gusset plates on, we've got the side bars, the back bars on, we've got all the rivet holes in, we've got the bearing holes along with the mounts for the gearboxes, so we're doing pretty well so far. Now we need to get that belly pan on. So let's get started. Let's create a part studio for the belly pan. We are, of course, going to rename this right away. And I'm going to do this from the top and just do a sketch right here. Now, what I want to do is make it the same size generally of what we're looking at just to start with. So let's go back over to our main drivetrain. I'll just accept that. I'll be right back. Okay. So we know this is 29.5 inches across minus the indent, which is, now it's nice sometimes to just be able to measure it from here, like from here to here. How far is that? 3 inches. Perfect. That's exactly what I recall us doing. So we basically got 6 inches off the 29.5 or 23.5 inches. Okay, 23.5 inches by 29.5, because this is the 27.5 plus an inch on each side. So again, we have to have the belly pan so it overlaps the bottom everywhere, right? So let's go back over. Now we're going to, in our sketch here, we're going to go ahead, 23.5, came really big, and 29.5. All right. Now, at its simplest, that's our belly pan, right? Okay. Next thing we're going to do with this is we're just going to extrude it. And it's 0.09. All right. Now we've got our belly pan. Let's do this. Let's just take and rename it. Belly pan. I'm going to change the appearance of this one just for the heck of it. Let's make it red. Okay. I'm going to keep it solid. I'm not going to keep it transparent. And actually, that's a good thing for a couple minutes. So I would just suggest not doing that, because I'm going to show you a little trick here we're going to use to put all the rivet holes in a second. Let's insert this. Belly pan. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and attach this. There's a number of different ways you can do this. You know, I could use the technique that we used for the gussets, where we placed a mate over here and then moved it over 3 inches. In this case, I think we can do this without creating any. And so I'm going to flip the drivetrain over for a second. I'm going to go right in the center of this one. I thought maybe I could get one to come up. Let's see here. Yeah, right in the center. There. That one right there. And then I'm going to flip this one over. Do that one right there. Okay, let's go back and just look at the top for a second. Nice. Okay, so we've got our belly pan in. Let's put the rivet holes in first, and then we'll Swiss cheese it. Let's go back here for a second. Now, if we remember when we did it on the gusset plates where we just went around and we used a hole from here, we want to do that with these as well. The challenge with doing that with these is how are we going to actually make that happen? So if I do a right click here and edit in context like we did before, and then I choose to sketch on the top, I'm going to call this sketch rivet holes. Okay. If I do that right here, I can't get to those holes very easy. Like I can when I look through another hole, but how am I going to do that all the way up and down this whole piece of tubing, right? And I definitely can't get into it in the front and the back tubing. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back over here to the assembly, and we're going to select our belly pan and our fastener. Okay, so this was the fastener that we had. I'm going to edit it. We're going to offset it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, you see the Z going down here? Okay, so the Z goes down. What I actually want to do is I want to put that belly pan up part way. Okay, so what I'm going to do, the Z goes positive this direction. I believe if we just go negative, we can do an inch. Didn't go the right way. We'll do an inch. There we go. Okay. Oh, and that's because I attached it to the other thing. Okay, that makes sense. We hit OK. Now our belly pan sits right in the middle, right? It's right in the middle. Okay, now, there we go. If I go back to editing context and I go to the bottom, two things I want to do. For rivet holes, I'm not going to do the face of the extrude that way. I'm going to do the back of it right here. Okay. Now I'm on that extrude. Now we can start selecting holes by using this use again. And we can start placing our holes on it, no problem, all the way around. Okay, so by offsetting it, I made it easier for me to select holes. Now this is going to get really old, selecting all these. There's another way of doing these. You can drag from the left or from the right to the left, and it selects everything. Okay, that's not good. Notice it selected the lines and everything else. We don't want the lines and everything else. I'm going to undo that. If you do it, however, from the left to the right, oh, it's out of the use. Sorry. Okay. Do that again. Okay. Now it did select one here that I didn't want it to, so I'm going to undo that again because that was a little bit too much. I didn't realize it was going to grab that under there. So I'm going to select use again. I'm going to do these just up through there. I want to do these at the, oh, I don't need to do these at the end because obviously our belly pan isn't there. I want to do these. That is looking pretty good. All right, we've got our rivet holes. Now we need to extrude them, right? So we're just going to extrude our rivet holes. We're going to do it. We're going to remove them. We're going to do it up to faced. I'm going to rotate this around, click on the back side, front side actually, and it removed them all. Perfect. Okay. Now, if we go back to our assembly, everything should look good. We've got it. Now, the other thing, oh, this was somehow selected as part of the sketch. That's what's driving it nuts. I selected too much. I didn't select just the rivet holes there. I selected more. And what it ended up doing is actually subtracting it. And I removed it. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. We're back on track now. Let's get the rivet holes. We're going to remove them. We're going to do it up to face. Here. That was funny. Okay. And we should be good. Now let's go back over to our drivetrain. Bottom of it looks correct now. Everything matches up perfectly on the bottom. All of our holes match up perfectly. We should be good to go.